Good afternoon, everyone. Today's session is going to be really helpful and it is led by Dr. Abbas Pani. He's going to talk about jaundice in newborns. So stick around until the end and ask us questions if you have any. Let's not keep you waiting any longer, doctor. You can have the stage.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Abbas. I'm pediatrician in Apollo Cradle, Kondapur in Hyderabad. So today we are going to touch on a subject which is very common, and it is called newborn jaundice. So after a child is born, many cases, like more than 50% of cases, are diagnosed with jaundice, which is essentially it's a normal thing. It's a normal condition of a newborn baby. It's not a disease or something, but there are many I can say less information to the patients. So the parents of newly born baby are anyway puzzled, and then when doctor comes and says the child is having jaundice, then they are still more sometimes alarmed also. So today, after discussion, parents can understand what is jaundice and where they need not worry and where to start worrying. Also, that we will discuss. So in adult, if so, jaundice essentially means bilirubin. One material is there in our body, one chemical is there in body, which increases in jaundice. Jaundice can be due to various reasons. Like suppose hepatitis A is one kind of disease where we eat something contaminated with hepatitis A virus and then we get the jaundice. So that is a separate issue. I'm not talking about disease conditions. Like somebody is having some liver problem where the liver is not working properly and then the jaundice is there. So that is a disease scenario where jaundice is coming to our body, bilirubin level is rising. So now the point is in newborns, those the jaundice is rising due to physiological reasons. It's not like what we say physiology means normal, pathology means disease. So mostly in majority of cases, newborn jaundice is physiological. This is the first point that I want people to understand. So don't get worried when your doctor says that child is having jaundice. Newly born baby is having jaundice. On third or fourth day, sometimes most more than 50% of babies will get jaundice. So when the adult is getting jaundice, the bilirubin level is more than 2, and the body and eyes they start looking yellow, and we call adult person getting jaundice. But in newborns, up to 7 also that yellowness is not there. So more than 7, 8, then the yellowness will start being visible. And up to 13, 14, 15 is also normal. So which is very abnormal figure in adult. Like adult having 15 jaundice means it's a very big major issue. But in children up to 15, it is in newborn babies up to 15 it is normal. So 25 to 50% of babies will get jaundice, which does not require any treatment. So maybe up to 7, 8, 9, on the second, third day, suppose somebody is getting 13 jaundice also on third day, 72 hours of life, that is also normal. So, so why this jaundice comes in newborn? Why it is called a physiological jaundice? So what happens when inside the womb, when inside the mother's womb, the baby is having high hemoglobin. So this bilirubin comes from hemoglobin. Why the child, when while the baby is having high hemoglobin inside mother's womb, because the baby is getting the lungs are not working inside. It is not the air that is breathing. He is getting the oxygen from mother's blood, so which it is difficult to extract. Already the mother's blood is being used up for own body functions. From that, the baby is extracting through the placenta. So that is why the high hemoglobin is required inside the mother, inside the uterus. Once child is born, the lungs immediately start working and he breathes air which is more rich in oxygen than inside. So this extra, like inside it is almost 18 to 20 hemoglobin. And where our normal hemoglobin is 12, maybe 13, 14 maximum. So this excess hemoglobin of 8 to 10 points is not required by the body of the baby. So the hemoglobin starts breaking down. The hemoglobin starts breaking into bilirubin. It is the hemoglobin is a red color pigment, the one which we see in the blood. When fresh blood is there, red. It is red due to hemoglobin, and then it breaks down to yellow color bilirubin. So this breaking down process is a natural process, and it takes place in all babies. Now, this bilirubin is supposed to be converted into other soluble substances by the liver and to be excreted in the urine. So this process, because suddenly in 2 3 days, lot of hemoglobin starts breaking down. The liver is not that much matured enough in the newly born baby. The liver maturity takes 8 to 10 days time. So in this 10 days time, 8 to 10 days time, this excess hemoglobin which is being converted to bilirubin, but the liver is not converting the bilirubin to the soluble substances. So that is circulating in body and getting deposited in the skin, eyes. That is why the babies look jaundiced. So up to 13, 14 level, it is normal only in first 4, 5 days. And if by chance the liver is not able to handle at all, or the bilirubin production is much more, then it goes above 15. So what happens above 15, or let us say above 20, suppose it goes, then the danger level starts. Above 20, the deposits can go and get the bilirubin can go and get deposited in the brain above 20, 25 level. That is very dangerous. That causes brain damage. So you can remember more than 20 is dangerous. So that's why more than 15 is treatment range. So danger level is here. We are treating at a 15 level so that the child does not reach the danger level. So anytime newborn baby jaundice goes more than 15, then we need to treat. What is the treatment for that? First is how to prevent. Suppose somebody asks them, okay, all babies, I understand that all babies get jaundice, some babies need treatment. So what can I do to prevent the babies from going from more than 15? What can be done from public, what the mother can do? So first and foremost is adequate feeding. It has been observed that if the baby is not fed adequately, underfeeding is there, then baby weight loss will be there. In that scenario, I can give example of you take two glasses, one glass is full, one glass is half full. You add equal amount of salt to both the glasses. So which will be more salty tasting? Obviously the one with half glass. So when the baby's blood amount is less by less feeding, then the jaundice level will be more. That is one rough way of understanding and remembering. So first and foremost is adequate feeding so that weight loss, more than normal weight loss is avoided. Second is some people say putting in sunlight, which is not very proven, but as sunlight is good for health and there's no harm in putting in morning sunlight when it is not too hot. So the remember when to put in when to put in sunlight, it should be the transition between the early morning cold and the later morning when it is becoming hot. So baby should not be kept in like suppose say midday, very hot bright sun is there. You are putting the baby in sunlight. That is where baby will become more dehydrated and all. So early morning, not early morning, I can say maybe 8. Suppose I'm in Hyderabad here. Early mornings are chillier. In any season, early morning will be little cold. So you can decide, and according to your environment, you can decide how much, which time you can. In Hyderabad, I can say 8 o'clock, 8:30 is a good time to keep baby in sunlight. But if there is suppose cloudy weather, and then not much of sunlight is coming, then any sunlight is okay. Whenever you get a little chance, little sunlight is filtering in, that time you can put. So these are the two methods where possibly the jaundice level will be prevented from going up. But having said that, I can say that if the child is the bilirubin production is more and the liver has not matured enough, then these two also may not work and it will go above 15 and treatment will be required. So we like to treat in the level of more than 15 in term babies. In preterm babies, because they are small and little less maturity is there, then we like to treat in a lower level. So suppose 15 term baby, you can think of 12 or 13 as a treatment level in preterm babies, like 1500 gram, 1200 gram, like that. The more the prematurity, less is the treatment level. Obviously, the danger level starts lower in premature babies for everything almost. So when to say that the jaundice may go to treatment level. Before the treatment level comes, also we can predict that the baby may require the jaundice of that baby, which is now starting in second day. Suppose jaundice has started. How to predict that it might go to treatment level? So we can say that if high jaundice directly less than 24 hours, it is becoming like 8, 10, 12, like that. Higher level in the first day itself. Second is rise of jaundice more than 0.5 gram per more than zero point 0.5 points per hour. Suppose morning, there's a machine actually, there's a small machine which is called skin transcutaneous millimeter. So the bilirubin testing is done when the perfect way of checking is through the blood. You take the blood and do the sampling, you can get the exact value. But we cannot keep on pricking the small baby again and again. So there's a machine which is available that can be kept on the, like we are checking thermometer with temperature. You can think something similar is happening, and we can get the level of the jaundice from the skin. So if you are checking in that machine and you are seeing more than zero point 0.5 points every hour it is rising, then you can predict. You need to be more careful, and you can expect the bilirubin to go up more than treatment level. And if the uh, if the feeding is less, babies losing weight, and preterm babies, these are the conditions where we should be more careful and look out for jaundice actively. So other risk factors will be the mother and baby blood group being different, especially if mother is the O and baby is A or B or AB. Then in that scenario, the chances of baby getting jaundice is more. Other thing is when there is normal delivery, there is a, because of the pressure while the baby is getting delivered, sometimes you get something called hematoma here. There is a swelling with blood collection, which is normal. But because the blood has collected there out of the blood vessels, it will start breaking down. Again, as I told, breaking down of blood produces jaundice. So any baby who is having hematoma or any due to any other reason, there's a bruising and blood is collected under skin, that is another risk factor where you can expect jaundice to be fast, means rising to more than treatment level. So what to do? So we'll check every day when we are checking the baby in first 2 3 days. We are checking for jaundice, and once it is more than 15, we are advising treatment. So what is the treatment? Why treatment is advised at 15 level, not at 20 level? Because above 20, danger starts. Like the especially the danger of kernicterus, that is the jaundice, means the bilirubin getting deposited in the brain. So that will cause irreversible brain damage. So once the kernicterus comes, nothing can be done to prevent it, means cure it. It is a permanent brain damage. So slowly, once you are seeing that the jaundice is going up and going above treatment level, then we start phototherapy. So keeping in sun and all is very marginal. If somebody is destined to go beyond treatment range, it will go. Nothing really much can be done about it. So many people ask, is there any medicine? So no role of medicines here actually. There's no medicine that can be take, because the cause is immaturity of the liver and excessive breaking of hemoglobin. So there's no medicine which can be which is there to prevent these two things. Means excessive breakdown will be there because it's a physiological process. What the body does not need, it will reject. So body needs only 12 hemoglobin after birth, and baby is already having 18. So the excess 6 points, it has to be destroyed. Body cannot support and does not want to support also. So nothing can be done to prevent that breakdown. And second is that liver maturity. Liver maturity, the chemical processes in the liver, they take some time. I mean, I'm not saying all babies, as you please note that not all babies get jaundice. Only 20, 30, 40, 50 maximum percent might get. So the liver maturity in those babies are a bit slower. The chemicals which are in the liver, the enzymes and all, they are working a bit slowly. They will take little time more to mature. So there is basically no much medicine for this. So basically, the on mainstay of treatment is phototherapy. So the particular light, that is a particular wavelength of light which needs to be used. So depending on the level, there can be this phototherapy light comes in a this big lighted surface with stand and all. So depending on the levels, there can be one phototherapy light, there can be two phototherapy light, and sometimes from below also there are mechanisms which can be delivering the light to the. I mean, we call it surface. So one surface, two surface, sometimes three surface from the below also. So these are the treatment for suppose 18, 19 phototherapy, the bilirubin level is there. So we go for three surface phototherapy. If suppose 17, 18, two surface, 15, 16, one surface. So roughly we can remember like that. Depending on many other factors are there. I'm just simplifying for means the audience sake. So many factors are also there. So once the phototherapy process starts, major one challenge is the treatment is phototherapy time spent under the light. So more light will fall. What happens? That light, how it works? The bilirubin which is circulating and deposited in the skin, that light falls and there's a photochemical isomerization. The reaction occurs. Liver is not required there. The because light is falling, the light converts the bilirubin, which is insoluble, I mean, it means which cannot be secreted in the urine, into soluble products which can be secreted. Roughly, this is the basic way of how phototherapy works. So the more number of hours the child spends under the phototherapy lights, the faster will be the recovery. So one major challenge is the baby is crying and parents keep on removing the baby from the under the phototherapy to hold, to feed, and to pacify the child. So parents should try to maximize the amount of time spent under phototherapy. So maybe in 1 day, 2 day, maximum 3 days, majority of cases means the level falls below the treatment range. We do sometimes check 1 or 2 times the blood reports, how much the bilirubin is falling, so that we can determine the discharge response to treatment and discharge accordingly. So then, what are the side effects of this phototherapy? Phototherapy, first thing is dehydration, because of course this is previously the like a tube light bulbs kind of things were used in older times. Now LED light has come and various new technology has come where the heat delivered by the light is minimized. So the dehydration we are not seeing as much as we used to see in the previous technology lights. Now cold lights like LED has come, which is very efficient and uh, less side effect for the child. So dehydration is one which can be a side effect. So feeding, adequate feeding has to be ensured for the child under phototherapy. Second is loose motion. Due to many mechanisms, there can be loose motions, which again feeding has to be stepped up to prevent dehydration in the child. Third is the eye damage. So because it's a bit bright light, the eyes can be damaged. Not damaged in fact, but eyes can be affected. So there's a opaque plastic spectacle kind of thing which is put in the child, made of cloth actually, black cloth. So it is eyes are covered by the child of the baby so that the light is not falling in the eyes, so that eyes are protected. Fourth is theoretical chance of genetic mutations in the gonads of the baby. So babies, especially male babies, they have to be the genitally have to be protected. So that's why a diaper or something has to be there so that the light does not fall on the gonads. So for preventing genetic mutations. So these are the side effects of the phototherapy, and as I told, mainstay of jaundice treatment is for phototherapy. And then if jaundice is not responding due to some other extra factors, risk factors are there, where the baby is more affected and the jaundice is increasing, not getting cured by phototherapy, then there is something called exchange transfusion. So baby's blood, whole blood is exchanged in fresh blood is put in so that the bilirubin containing blood is removed directly from the body and fresh blood is. That's a bit major procedure, but it can be done if required. If the phototherapy is not working. Previously, it used to be very common, but as I told, because we are more vigilant and feeding practices have improved, superstitions regarding feeding has come down. Previously, a lot of superstition was there and wrong information was there. Don't feed the baby, etc., etc. So now feeding has improved and phototherapy lights efficiency has improved. That's why the incidence of exchange transfusion has come down. In my experience, I am seeing very few. I'm sure it is same across the country also. Very few exchange transfusions as compared to before. So what I want the parents to public and parents to understand today's message is that jaundice in a newborn is a physiological process which is normal. It is not a disease. So first you have to understand that. Second is medicine is not there. Main if it is increasing to treatment level, treatment is light, specialized light, which is to be given in how means in the hospital. Many people will ask, will keep under our tube light and will buy blue color light and keep, so that won't work basically. It is a medical treatment required to be done in hospital, and monitoring is also required so that we don't go into high level requiring exchange transfusion or causing damage to the child's brain. So how to prevent? Mainly sunlight is secondary, main is feeding. Feeding, adequate feeding will also ensure that in many cases, and it's not the other way around. Just for clarity's sake, I can say if somebody is going to shoot up, more feeding will not help. If you are not feeding, then who's somebody is whose the child's whose bilirubin is not going up also will go up if you are giving less feeds. But more feeds cannot dilute to below treatment level. So that we have to understand. So feeding adequate and keeping in sunlight are two ways which can be possibly can reduce the jaundice. But some cases it will require treatment like phototherapy or in very bad cases exchange transfusion. And there are other pathological conditions also. Suppose thyroid is somebody is having newborn thyroid or other disease process I'm not touching here. There are many disease processes, liver damage is there or something. That's a different issue. Then the doctor will diagnose the disease and treatment will be done accordingly. Blood is more easily being breaking down. Suppose somebody is having some blood problem, then also jaundice can increase. That is a pathological jaundice. Today I am not discussing pathological jaundice. Today we are discussing physiological jaundice, whose treatment is, if required, phototherapy, or in hard case, exchange transfusion. So that is our take-home message that I want, that not to be afraid. If required phototherapy to be given, vast majority of cases will be going home normally. One more point is, if you are, suppose baby is getting admitted with bilirubin of 20, whereas the treatment level is 15, we know. So once we give 1 or 2 days of treatment, 20 will come down to suppose 13 after 2 days. So it has fallen down to 13. So 13 is safe level, nothing will happen. But if we discharge at that point, suppose the next day only it came 13. If you discharge at that point, there's something called rebound. Again, it has fallen from 20 to 13, but the condition is causing the jaundice, like the breakdown of the hemoglobin and the maturity of liver is still not finished. So if you stop at that point, again it will rise. Will not rise up to 20, but again it will rise into the treatment zone like 17. It's called rebound phenomenon. So instead of 13, we give for 1 or 2 days more, 1 day more at least, so that it comes down to like 9, 10, 11. So that rebound will occur, but it will not expect it to rise back to treatment level. So these are the points for today. Thanks for patient listening. Any questions, please? I can take questions if possible. Thank you.